At this point, I'm not looking for love. I'm looking for somebody to fly me out, take me shopping, make them pieces hit, make them pieces work, fly me out of the country. You feel me? That's what I need right now. I don't need...
Are you 5'2"?
Absolutely not. 5'4". 5'3". 5'3".
Kevin?
5'2.5". I'm 5'2". 5'2".
Let's try to tell the truth.
Yeah, 5'2".
Are you self-conscious about your height?
Yes. Yes.
For my wife to be at home all day and she just does what I...
What? Now, I know he said that was his preference. And then he went on to continue to say that he would like things traditional rather than the modern way of marriage. Let's go ahead and talk about traditional marriage then. Traditionally, our grandparents back in the Gap were really not happy.
And this is the problem. Nothing productive in this entire life is about being happy. Having kids isn't even about being happy. It's about building a house and the continuation of wealth and making sure your future generations are financially secure. Like, nothing good for you is about being happy. And the main reason these discussions between men and women don't go anywhere is because men don't answer to women. Like, if everything had to be agreed upon by women, there would never be anything set in stone. There would never be any concrete ordinances in place for the masses of people to follow. Even the institution of marriage that y'all love to talk about but never want to talk about where it's actually from. It's originally an agreement between two men, the father and the husband. A man would come into town and be like, yo, I need a woman. I got this much money, I got this much land, I got this much livestock. I'm looking for a wife to build my house with and provide for. And another man would hear him and be like, yo, that's perfect. I got a daughter. I done taught her how to cook. I done taught her how to clean. I done taught her how to be a good woman. And I've made sure that she stayed in the house and hasn't had any miscellaneous sex so that you can call her your own. I'll get her out my house, and the responsibility of protecting and providing for her falls on you. That's marriage, and the girl didn't have any input because it was already understood that young women do not understand what they're going to want when they're 40. They're not going to understand that they're going to long to have children. They're not going to understand that they're going to long to be in the presence of a man or want to be provided for and taken care of. Like, there is no traditional marriage. There's marriage, and then there's whatever y'all are doing today. Like, the whole concept of marriage is just men making sure that women are secure and women are taken care of. You brothers gotta stop sugarcoating stuff. Wanting your wife to be obedient or to do what you tell her to do isn't a preference. That's how it's supposed to be. Because what's the opposite of obedience? Disobedience, argumentativeness, contentiousness, arguing about things that they don't even understand. It's better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and angry woman that's gonna argue with you about everything. You can't lead, teach, or protect somebody that doesn't want it. For the millionth time, the covenant of marriage never meant that that man could not marry another woman or have any other women.
So I find a lot of people always ask, how do you get a guy to buy you nice things, like take you on shopping sprees, buy you cars, etc. So here are a few tips on what I personally do. Firstly, I wake up every morning at 5:30 a.m. It's just something I do. So when I wake up that early, I usually make my partner breakfast. I love to cook, so I'm constantly baking, and I'll make his favorite dinner at least twice a week. And I usually bake his favorite dessert at least once a week. I also believe that it's really important to be physically intimate with your partner at least 5 times a week. So, yeah. And I care about my partner's mental health, and I make sure to communicate well with my partner so they know what I want and I know what they want.
Reasons why children need fathers. Number one is motivation. A mother's love tends to be far more unconditional. She's more accepting of their failures and poor decision making, whereas fathers' love tend to be more conditional. The child realizes that they need to earn a father's approval, and so when they lack a father figure, they lack that extrinsic motivation that they require and tend to underperform, especially in school. Number two is good cop, bad cop. When a mother is raising children alone, she has to both discipline them and show them mercy. mercy. This is very difficult to do simultaneously. What ends up happening is she tends to lean towards one. So either the child will lack discipline at home or will lack a compassionate mother. Final reason is masculine energy. Children crave masculine energy, and if they don't get it in the home, they'll definitely seek it outside of the home. Now, in worst case scenarios, it can lead to men seeking criminal behavior or gang affiliation. And for girls, it often leads to them seeking premature relationships. They may even be more tolerant of abusive or negative relationships because they simply need that.
Lady's sitting at home when her phone rings. She looks down, it's her husband. She picks it up. Hello? Husband on the other line. Honey, I don't want to alarm you, but I got hit by a car when I was leaving work. Paula took me to the hospital. They checked me over. They did some x-rays. The blow to my head was pretty severe, but it didn't show any internal injury. Bad news is I got 3 broken ribs, a compound fracture in my left leg, and they might have to amputate my right leg. The wife says, "Who the fuck is Paula?"
Are we telling men that the reason we want them to provide for us fully, even though we work and don't plan on quitting our jobs, are we telling them that we want them to provide for us so that we can spend their money the way we want to and then spend our money however we want to? Because ultimately it's so we can have some sense of control in the relationship, right? Which also includes us putting money to the side just in case the relationship don't work out. Like, are we telling that? Because I didn't know. That's how I just figured I'd ask, because I didn't know whether or not we were really saying that or if that was just our secret.